What you been up to? What you working on? What's the latest?
Oh man, I've started a new company and it's called HowdyBot, and combining my first company and Moonbot's names into HowdyBot.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's taken up a lot of time.
And the goal, the purpose,
what's HowdyBot do?
Yeah.
HowdyBot, what HowdyBot do? What we do, let's see.
Where does one begin?
We are creating, I hope, entertainment to enlighten and bring joy to peoples of all nations throughout the planet until the end of time.
Is this
Directed at children or all of us?
I don't ever think of them as being children's stories. They take place within the realm of childhood, but I pretty much do them for everybody.
Is this going to be as technologically cutting edge, i.e., 2 miles ahead of the curve of everybody else, as Moonbot was?
You know, it kind of needs to be, just because that's the way the game is played now. But in the same way that when we had Moonbot and when I had Howdy, we like to use some of the old techniques and combine them with the new techniques to make things even more interesting.
The number one with a bullet reason you came in this morning is you have a public appearance coming up. Is it this weekend?
It is this weekend. It is at Barnes & Noble from 1 to 3. I'm doing a book signing.
Okay, and what that means is folks can bring any of your books that you've written. They can buy them there on site, and you will sign them for. These are great Christmas gifts. Let me just give you a heads up.
Well, you know, I haven't had a signing all year, and that's unusual. I've been so busy on the new company that I haven't had time to tour or do any of that kind of stuff. And I like to do that. And I like meeting people that want my books so bad that they'll come out of their houses in even inclement weather and stand in line and wait for my old self to scribble my name on it. It's something I would never do, you know, but it's very touching and very sweet to go to the bookstore and meet these people that invariably now there'll be somebody in their 20s that'll come up and go, I grew up on your books and now I have children and I'm getting my books for them.
Which is pretty awesome.
That is, you can't not feel great after something like that. Or there's people that are like, you changed my life. Your books are the reason why I'm an artist or I'm an animator or whatever. And hearing that kind of thing, you know, face to face, always makes me feel great. So if people think, they always say, thank you for signing my book. And I'm always like, thank you for coming out. It's lovely to meet you.
Bill, we're talking to Bill Joyce, if you're just joining us, the legend, who's a Shreveport guy, Byrd High School graduate.
Yes, ma'am.
And
home of the Fighting Yellow Jackets.
Yes, I'm a Yellow Jacket mom, I should say. Both my boys are grads.
I drive by there a couple times.
you could, and most people would say, why don't you bring HowdyBot to L.A. or New York? Why does Bill Joyce keep his focus of operations in Shreveport?
You know, it's a complicated question with soundbite answers. So I'll say what Eudora Welty said to someone late in her career. And she was in New York, you know, at some kind of fancy literary shindig. And she was asked, why do you stay in Mississippi? And she looked that person up and down kind of incredulously and said, because it's home. Shreveport's home. And that's a very powerful feeling, and not one that's easy to replace, and not one that you should, you know, not pay attention to. I think you have to let go. I mean, I wouldn't be who I am if it wasn't for the people that I grew up with in Shreveport and the atmosphere of this town.
But how do you instill that then? I'm so glad you said that, because how do you then instill that in our younger people that are in their early 20s, late 20s, maybe getting into the 30s, that say, things don't look so bright here for me. I'm going to have to go to Dallas, or I'm have to go to, you know, a bigger city. How do you get them to feel that this is their home? Put your roots down here. You can and will succeed.
Well, you know, things are changing. The atmosphere, the workplace is changing. Having to be in a specific place is changing. The only reason I can be here and do what I do is because I don't have to be in Los Angeles. I don't have to be in New York. And I was told that early on in my career. People were like, you can create wherever you are. We'll be the conduit. It will come through here, but you don't have to be here. And that's become more and more the case, especially in film. I mean, we've seen that happen here in Shreveport when there's so much movie production going on. For me, for what I do for publishing and animation, it doesn't matter. The two places I started, the first jobs I had in the movie business in animation were with Pixar and Blue Sky. And Pixar was in a strip mall outside of Oakland, and Blue Sky was out of an old dentist office in Harrison, New York, upstate New York. Neither one of them were in meccas of filmmaking.
Sure.
But they knew how to make stories up and put them into a way that you could see them. And those things you could just send it through the interweb net, you know, to where it needs to go. And in a way, it's kind of easier to do what I do without all the distractions that can come with being around the industry all the time. You know, we can really just focus on the story and making it beautiful. If we were in LA and in New York, it would cost us a lot more to make it. And there would always be somebody peeking in and going, hey, can we tell you how to do this better? And we get to just be here and be on our own. And that is happening more and more and in more and more industries. Being in the place that seems you need to be is not at all as essential as it once was. Being able to work from your house or any place that you want is going to be the wave of the future in many ways.